Welcome to TV Africa News. Hope you had a beautiful day. This is Africa Today. My name is Nahawe Kajura. Let's have the headlines.
Africa Today News headlines. Rastafarians in Uganda ask for peace in the general election. President Tshisekedi of DR Congo pardons 26 men convicted of plotting the assassination of the late Laurent Kabila in 2001. Presidential candidates in Niger set for another round of election after failing to raise the required percentage to win the power. In sports, Uganda cranes draw 1-1 with Cameroon in a pre-CHAN tournament.
Let's have the news in details. The President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has appointed Major General Kayanja Muhanga as the Kampala Joint Security Operations Coordinator, reporting directly to the Commander-in-Chief. According to the UPDF, he will be in charge of security in Kampala metropolitan area. Let's have the story. At the time of appointment, Major General Kayanja Muhanga had just been returned from a one-year course at South Africa's National Defence College. He has previously served as the commander of Uganda People's Defence Forces, 2nd Division based at Makenke in Mbarara District. For more than 2 years, Muhanga was the UPDF contingent commander in Somalia. During his tenure, he battled Al-Shabaab that had made AMISOM operations almost impossible with improvised explosive devices commonly known as IEDs. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has of recent put more emphasis on the Kampala metropolitan area that had almost been taken over by what he said violent criminals who had made some areas no-go zones for police. Since the introduction of closed-circuit television, security cameras, a command center for both the military and police was established at the Kampala Central Police Station. Whenever there are security threats, UPDF 1st Division Commander Major General Samuel Kawaga, Military Police Commander Colonel Keith Katunji, and Kampala Metropolitan Police Commander Moses Kafero converge in a command center where they devise means of handling situations. According to unclosed sources, it was resolved that all operations during the election period should involve military and police. There is a team of military and police personnel already prepared purposely to deal with all election-related security threats, a senior police officer said. Major General Kayanja Muhanga joins his fellow army men who are in charge of Kampala, including Major General Paul Lokech, Deputy IGP, Major General Sam Kawaga, the commander of the 1st Division, Kachiri, Major General Leopard Chanda, Chief of Staff Land Forces, Major General Abel Kandiho, Commander Chief of Military Intelligence, Brigadier General C.S. Damulira, Director Crime Intelligence of Police. Major General Muhanga comes in a fortnight after the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, appointed Major General Lokech to replace Major General Stephen Musei Sabiti as Deputy IGP. In his New Year's address, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni said he had deployed highly trained units that have been fighting Allied Democratic Forces at the DRC Congo border and Al-Shabaab in Somalia to deal with security operations in areas which had been regarded as no-go zones for the weak corrupt police. He said part of their mission is to deal with hardcore criminals who were allegedly being used by some opposition politicians to intimidate civilians and wreak havoc in Kampala and other surrounding areas.
All of you who are involved, please stop, because I know and I will act. Secondly, I am the head of the Banansuko, the bushfighters. I'm their head. I've been leading them for the last 50 years, since 1971, if you don't include the student years. So we cannot allow the revolution of the people to be destroyed by crooks.
Nahawe Kajura. Commercial and medium customers will start to enjoy a slightly reduced power tariff after Electricity Regulatory Authority cut the cost while maintaining prices for other customer categories 3 times in a row. Let's have the news. The best end-user tariffs valid for the first 3 months of 2021 are indicating price of electricity Umeme will charge to its 1.5 million customers. Commercial customers, who include small-scale industries, fuel pumps and millers, among others, will between January and March will pay shillings 642.2 for a unit of electricity compared to the 645.6 last year. Medium industrial customers will incur shillings 10.7 less when paying a unit of electricity after the price was reduced from shillings 570.9 in 2020 to shillings 560.2 for the first quarter of 2021. Small medium enterprises have been severely affected by COVID-19 restrictions, which according to Umeme have led to a 10% drop in demand for electricity. ERA has maintained the tariffs for other customer categories since July last year. Domestic customers, who include households, will continue paying 750.9 for every unit after the 15th unit consumed. The regulator subsidizes the first 15 units paid by democratic customers at a reduced rate of shillings 250. Large industrial customers will continue paying shillings 361 per unit of electricity consumed as extra large industrialists incurred shillings 301.7. Street lighting payable by Kampala Capital City Authority in Kampala was also maintained at shillings 370 per unit. The power tariff is a composition of power generation costs and distribution costs through which service providers recoup their investment on a quarterly basis during the year for changes in international prices of fuel, exchange rate, inflation, and generation mix. It also takes into consideration approved investments for power players during the year. The movement of exchange rate of the Uganda shilling against the dollar directly affects the cost of power sector players because of a significant portion of them are incurred in foreign currency, yet the tariff is in Uganda shillings. The United States Producer Price Index is used to adjust the operation and maintenance costs dominated in the dollars data for changes in prices of imported supplies. Movement in fuel prices at the international market affects the cost of generation for thermal generation plants. Jacobsen Uganda Power Plant Company Limited and Electromax Uganda Limited, which affects the power purchase costs incurred by Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited. According to ERA, the tariff was derived based on shillings 3,699.2 exchange rate of the shillings against the United States of America dollar of November 2020. ERA also hinged on a core consumer price index of 184.65 and US producer price index of 211.4 for the tariff running up to March 2021. The regulator also determined the tariff based on the international fuel price of October 2020, which was recorded Kampala City Lord Mayor NRM aspirant Kazibwe Daniel, known as Ragadi, has come out to show his uncertainty with the Electoral Commission banning campaigns in some districts, Kampala inclusive, with the intention of fighting the spread of COVID-19. He says this is unfair to the candidates.
For the bottom in, you see, sometimes they say God is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's God's plan. If you are to be a leader, it is God's will. It is not your will. It is whatever you see. You're not in the hearts of the people that vote you. The people that vote you just wake up one day and they say, you know what? We need to vote Ragadi. So at the end of the day, I don't want to compare myself to any of the other contenders. I want to compare myself to this person that is standing, be a Lord Mayor of Kampala. I don't want to talk about names. I don't want to talk about my strength or my weakness. I want to say that with God, I know everything is possible.
Then do we expect a free and fair election from the Electoral Commission come that day?
Now you are making me to become the spokesman of the Electoral Commission. I don't want to be the spokesman of the Electoral Commission. I want to be straightforward. I do not know what's going to happen. I'm only praying that things go for the better. Things work for the better. People, be patriotic. Let us vote in the right way. Let us vote the people we wish and we feel that can be good leaders. That's how we can have our country in a good shape.
Thank you so much.
Any message you want to pass to Ugandans in Kampala?
The banning of campaigns is costing us a lot. It's not a good thing in Kampala. Kampala, people have to see you. Kampala, people have to listen to you. Kampala has different divisions with different problems. The problems of Nakawa are not the same problems of Rubaga, they're not the same problems of Kawempe, not the same problems of Kampala Central. So we need a chance to go and see these people. We need a chance to go to these areas. Now, if you say there's no rally, and you say there's no meeting, and it's only electronic, maybe on TV or media, so many people don't have, there are 4 million people in Uganda that have Android phones. Now just imagine, if people don't have WhatsApp and Facebook and the rest, that means on the phone they will not get you. That is one. 2, TV is very expensive. If you come to Rico TV, they're going to charge you a lot of money to have a program. And also, the prime time is not big or long for you to be on that program. Just imagine there are going to be about 5 presidential candidates given prime time. What about the MPs? What about the mayors and the Lord Mayor? So the time is not enough for us to do these things. Then you may have a very bad day or a very bad time. They give you until midnight where everyone is sleeping, so you won't be watched by people. Some people don't understand that in Uganda, not so many people watch TV. Not so many people listen to radio. People are working in their markets. You need to go there and see them personally. They see you, they listen to you, they understand your intellectuality. So, I mean, it's not easy for us to have this campaign stopped.
Yeah.
Like for the security forces, I have nothing to say much because I'm a spokesman, I'm not a police spokesman, I'm not a security personnel. But what I'm to tell the people of Uganda, that let's love each other, let's be patriotic, let's go and vote, and let's vote peace, because they don't buy peace. You can never get peace from a hotel, you can never get peace from a shop, you can never get peace sold in wholesale. What I have to tell you is, let's be peaceful, let's do this, it's a one-day thing. Let's go and vote, let's vote peacefully, we go back home, and wait for they read out the winner.
Thank you.
Awarded for their contribution towards African liberation. Join the great men and women of Africa in Heroes Clips.
Mwalimu Nyerere was at the forefront of the most pressing issues for Africa at that time, the liberation struggle.
If in order to attain my ideals, I have to shoot back at that man.
And even I am still fighting for the whole black people all over the world.
Every day at 9:30 a.m. exclusively on TV Africa, Channel 45. As a cure.
If you have a good immune system, then your body can naturally get rid of HIV. If you take
Yes.
a poor African who's been infected and you build up their immune system, is it possible for them to also naturally get rid of it?
I would think so. It's important knowledge which is completely neglected. You know, people always think of drugs and vaccine.
You can find these and many more interesting secrets exclusively on Channel 45. TV Africa, the right to know. Africa is the origin of humanity.
1776 in Germany, European leading scientists sat together. At the time they knew that humanity started in Africa at the foothills of the mountains of the moon.
Africa is the origin of high technical civilization.
We are not both Europeans. We cannot colonize Africa, which created a civilization like that of ancient Egypt or ancient Ethiopia. No! So what do we need to do? We need to demonize the African, to say that he has no soul and he actually never created a civilization, but we have a problem.
Because of white domination, everything has been changed, leading to black inferiority and self-hate. To reclaim what was ours and get back on top, join Dr. Chiurankuba in the Restorationist series, Wahene Mesu, showing on TV Africa Channel 45 every day at 9 p.m.
The Rastafarians in Uganda have asked all Ugandans to advocate for peace in the coming presidential elections ahead of commemorations for Kabaka Mwanga's birthday due to the 3rd June this year. Speaking with the press in Kampala, Rastas cautioned all political aspirants to come out and help them finance their project of building the Kabaka Mwanga Memorial Center as a sign of respect to their king in Seoul, Kabaka Mwanga II. Let's have the story.
Mwanga ye mwoyo mutukuvu eyatuweebwa okujja okununula ensi eno. Mwanga mununuzi wa nsi yonna, buli muntu mu nsi eno alindiridde bununuzi. Obununuzi bwaffe busuubirwa mu Kabaka Mwanga y'aleeta emirembe era yayinza okuyavaako obusungu obuleeta amazinga gano ge tulabako kaakati.
N'ebikolwa byabwe byazikirira. So nga bajjajjaffe baali basinga amagezi n'empisa ennungi. Kati omuntu ali mu kifaananyi kyabwe, nze ndowooza yali badde ali kulokoza abajjajja bali abaali ab'empisa ennungi, abagezi, abalowooza, abasobola okulumirirwa ensi yaabwe ne bannaabwe nga beerumirirwa. So nti buli asita bamulabira mu kiti ekyo alabirirwanga, mulabire mu kifaananyi ky'omuntu alumirirwa eddembe ly'omuddugavu yenna. Nti ffe kati okwogera ku magye kiyinza okuba ekibiina erasita okukosa abamusirikale wa muddugavu, soja forever, ye musirikale kuva batandikira bogenda kuba bobu bani bonna balasita bajja balwanirira ddembe lya muki lya mulasita. Naye omulasita tukikwata nti lasita yefe abalina enviiri, naye tukikwata nti lasita ye muddugavu akyali mu kalaako obuddugavu nti nze ndi muki, nze ndi muddugavu. Tuli bangi abaddugavu naye ng'emitima myeru. Tuli bangi abaddugavu naye nga tukyayinza okulaba muddugavu atali wa ggwanga lyo bakika kyo n'omutegeera nti muddugavu. Naye lasita yekka yakyasobola okumanya nti omuddugavu. Ebika byajja buzi, amawanga gajja buzi, buli kintu kyonna ekitwawula kyakola ki? Kyajja buzi. Gwe lasita bw'obeera mu nsi n'olaba omuddugavu buli omu, omusajja aba mugandawo, omukyala yenna aba siisita. Ffe yenkola yaffe sirinamu ntono ggwanga gundi, ate kabira gundi, ate kika gundi, kasita oba muddugavu. Mu maaso gange na buli mulasita yenna waali oba olina wa luganda lwo. Tugaata abazungu battemeramu emisanvu bateekamu ensalo
Niger is set for a second round of votes as no candidate clinched the needed majority for a first-round win in the December 27th.
Aussi et surtout un jour spécial pour le Niger. Pour le Niger qui va connaître pour la première fois de son histoire.
Former Prime Minister and favorite to win Mohamed Bazoum of the ruling party came first with 39.33% of the vote. He will go head-to-head with the former president Mohamed Ousmane, who placed second with 16.99% of the votes, according to the results announced by the Electoral Commission on Saturday. The right-hand man of the outgoing president, Mohamed Issoufou, who was hoping for a one-touch victory in the first round, will now have to seek alliances before the second round of the polls on February 20th. Voter turnout was pegged at 69.67% with 2.2 million voters out of 7.4 million registered voters for a population of 23 million. These must be validated by the Constitution Court. Ibade Ubauba, fourth, obtaining 8.95% and 7.07% of the votes, ahead of former Foreign Minister Ibrahim Yakuba, fifth with 5.38% of the voters, respectively. The other former president in contention, Salaud Jobu, came with 2.99% of the vote. This is the first time in Nigeria's history that an elected president will succeed another elected president. A key hurdle for the winner of the February runoff vote will be the same jihadist attack in the Sahelian country that has killed hundreds of people. Some 500,000 refugees and others have been displaced from their homes, according to United Nations. Brian Katende, reporting for TV Africa.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's President Tshisekedi has pardoned 26 men convicted of plotting the 2001 assassination of Laurent Kabila. Let's have the story.
Democratic Republic of Congo President Tshisekedi has pardoned 26 men convicted of plotting the 2001 assassination of the late Laurent Kabila. Laurent Kabila was shot and killed by his bodyguard in his Paris in January 2001, and the bodyguard was himself shot dead immediately after. Prosecutors say the assassination was part of the coup attempt led by Colonel Ed Kapendi, Kabila's closest personnel, and a court in Congo sentenced him and others to death. Many people were jailed over this case, and it is said that a number of them have since died in prison, but what matters, none of the death sentences were carried out. President Felix Tshisekedi has pardoned these men and other people who were convicted in other cases of humanity. Kabila's son Joseph Kabila, who succeeded him, repeatedly resisted calls from people and other religious leaders to pardon Kapendi and others. But Joseph Kabila stepped down as the president of DR Congo in 2019 and was replaced by Tshisekedi, a long-time opponent. Tshisekedi governed for the first 2 years of his presidency in coalition with Joseph Kabila's allies, but is now trying to distance himself from his predecessor and removing Kabila's loyalists from the government. Laurent Kabila's death further scared the country with a dark history of political assassinations, including the 1961 killing of its post-independent Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba by a successionist rebels with the support from Belgian officials. Brian Katende, reporting for TV Africa.
And in our sports today, Uganda Cranes made a draw 1-1 with the host Cameroon in a pre-match main tournament ahead of CHAN that kicks off on 16th January 2021 at Yaoundé, Cameroon. From the resultant free kick on 13 minutes, Cameroon took the lead with a headed goal by captain Banga Bidjen. However, before that, Cranes had dominated the opening 10 minutes in which Cameroon conceded 3 successive corner kicks but yielded nothing. Karim Watambala's delivery of the kicks put the Lions defense under pressure as they played for survival at the time. Uganda Cranes coach Jonathan McKinstry was never tempted to change his tactical formation even when his team played with a man less. However, as the first half grew older, striker Joseph Semuju was introduced for Watambala. The Lions were by this time in control of the game, but the central defense partnership of Paul Mbowa and Mustafa Mujuzi did all they could to avert any aerial danger. The second half saw no substitutions made until midway of his period, when a double change was introduced, with Vian Sekajugo and Bobosi Biaruhanga coming in for Ojera Joachim and Captain Tony Mawaje. Ojera had ended the first half with a bandaged head following a clash of heads with his opponent. The stylish winger caused all sorts of problems for the Cameroonian backline, as he also received cheers from the very few fans who attended the match. Mujuzi took over the skipper's role following the departure of experienced Maweje, whose captaincy earlier witnessed Milton Karisa and Ojera Walter combined with a series of passes between the pair of hand. Uganda equalizer in the 70th minute. Birthday boy Shaban Mohammed was introduced with 10 minutes to go for goal scorer Milton Karisa. The disappointment of the Cameroonian fans was evident at the final whistle of Uganda held the home side to a 1-1 draw in the opening match of the pre-Chan mini tournament in Yaoundé. Zambia coach Milutin was also in attendance as he faces his former employers on 4th January 2021. It is obvious that the Lions fans want to see their team deliver on home soil, especially during the 2020 Toto Chan finals. However, they will have to keep their ears on ground as results similar to today's game might still happen. There were extremely limited numbers of fans inside the stadium due to the prevailing COVID-19 conditions. According to Cranes head coach Jonathan McKinstry, it's not about the results, but rather taking on the host nation and other positions. Uganda Cranes will be back in the race on 4th January 2021. Uganda playing on Zambia, 4 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. East African time. And on 7th Jan 2021, Uganda will play on Niger at 4 p.m. local time and at 6 p.m. East African time. It is high time. I wished you well in everything that you do. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall keep updating you. Nahabe Kajura, TV Africa News.